back to my channel again for another weekly video, and also welcome to my first Christmas video of this year's Christmas video season. I've also got my Christmas jumper on, although you can't really see it too well right now. Either I chop my head off or chop my jumper off. So yeah, it's got a little reindeer on it and it is so cute. Also, hang on, you can't see the best bit, the pom-pom nose. There we go. So cute. Have to get it on, of course, and it's very fitting for today's video. If you like to shop, it is so soft as well. I will try to remember to leave a link to it down below in the description, but it's from Boohoo if you're interested in getting it. And anyway, it is of course very fitting for today's video. As you can probably tell from the title, today I am going to be attempting to make reindeer cupcakes, which I just think look so adorable and they're so cute. Perfect for any kind of festive or Christmassy party that you might have, or even for making for Christmas Day itself. Or equally, if you just want to make them because they look really cute and eat them yourself, that is completely fine too. But yeah, honestly, they just look so adorable, so I can't wait to make these, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get straight into the baking. In terms of ingredients you need for making the actual cakes, you will need 200 grams of butter or margarine, 200 grams of sugar, 3 eggs, 180 grams of self-raising flour, and then around 25 to 30 grams of chocolate powder. You want to start by preheating your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Then measure out your 200 grams of butter into a large bowl. Follow this by weighing out your 200 grams of sugar. Then cream these together until it's all combined and nice and soft. Now add in a third of your flour, so this is 60 grams, along with one of the eggs, and combine this to the rest of the mixture. Then repeat twice more so that all of your 180 grams of flour and 3 eggs have been used up. Next, add in your 25 grams of chocolate powder and then mix this in until it's all combined. You can also add extra chocolate powder if you want to make it extra chocolatey. Then you need a 12-hole muffin tin and line these with 12 cupcake cases, before then adding your mixture to each of these. Then that is them ready to go into the oven for around 20 minutes. So while the cakes are baking, I'm going to get on to making the decorative reindeer antlers, and these kind of could be looked at simple in terms of ingredients needed, but they could also be a bit complicated, because actually all you need to make these is some dark chocolate. I'm using dark chocolate because I'm going to melt this, and usually dark chocolate works better for melting. So I've got 72% cacao chocolate. You may want to attempt it with milk chocolate as well if that's what you prefer, but generally, for past baking experience, dark chocolate works better for melting. And then for this, you'll also need some kind of piping bottle or bag. So I have got this piping bottle, which I just find so much easier to use because you literally just like put the mixture in and then you squeeze it, which is so less messy. It's so much easier to use on a piping bag, because past experiences of using piping bags, they always explode everywhere and it never ends well. And you also want a round-ended nozzle on it so that you can pipe the antlers. You want to start by adding some boiling water to a small saucepan, and then place a bowl on top of this and set the hob to a low heat setting. And then add in your chocolate to the bowl and leave this to melt while stirring occasionally until the whole of the contents has melted. Then you want to spoon this into either your piping bag or bottle. You next want to take a flat baking tray lined with baking parchment, which I've stuck to the tray using butter, then begin piping out antler-shaped figures with the chocolate. This then wants to be popped into the freezer for a couple of hours until they've completely solidified. Now your cakes are ready, you want to remove them from the oven and set them aside a couple of minutes to start cooling before then transferring them to a wired rack to cool completely. I'm going to move on to making the buttercream, which we're going to use to attach the decorative fondant, which we're going to create the reindeer face with, to the actual cupcake. So you don't really need that much buttercream, so I'm using a recipe that I normally would use, but I'm only using 1/4 of the ingredients as we're literally just using it as like a edible glue type thing. So all you'll need for this is 35 grams of butter, 70 grams of icing sugar, and then literally like a splash of milk. Start by measuring out your 35 grams of butter. Then you want to beat this until it's nice and soft. Then measure out your 70 grams of icing sugar and mix this into the butter. Followed by around a teaspoon of milk, which you then want to mix in. And then place the buttercream in the fridge until we use it later. So while I'm waiting for the cakes to cool, I'm going to get on to preparing the fondant in order to decorate these cakes and actually make them look like reindeers. So for this you will need around 450 grams of fondant. I'm using ready-made fondant just to make this process so much simpler, as I can really focus on actually decorating the cakes and making them look good. But also feel free to make your own fondant if you really want to go out there and challenge yourself as well. But yeah, using shop bought makes it a lot simpler. Then you'll also need some dark brown food colouring. I'm using this one, which is actually to decorate and top either biscuits or cakes. So it's got a chocolate flavour as well, so it should hopefully add a chocolatey kind of flavouring to the icing as well. Then you'll also need some red food dye. In order to colour the icing brown though, I will also use some of the leftover melted chocolate from earlier. Start by measuring out 400 grams of your fondant. You then want to dust your surface and also rolling pin with some icing sugar. Start to roll out your fondant, and then to this add some of the brown food colouring to the centre and begin to knead the fondant in order to give it a brown colour. And then also add some of the melted chocolate from earlier to give it an even stronger brown colour. Now this is ready, roll it out till it's about 1/4 inch thick. You'll then need a cookie cutter, or you can use a glass like I have if you don't have one, to cut out 12 circular shapes from the brown fondant. Then remove these and place them onto a baking sheet. You want to use the remainder of the fondant to make the ears, so you can either do this by rolling the fondant into the right shape or using a long skewer to cut out the ear shape from the rolled out fondant. And it should look something like this. Then repeat to get all the ears and set them aside on the baking sheet. Next, weigh out 50 grams of fondant, which we will use to colour red. So you need your red food dye. Again, add this to the centre and then begin to knead it to start colouring the fondant. Mine did actually end up turning out to be a more pink colour, so you may want to purchase red fondant if you can get your hands on some, or use a stronger red food colouring. Now the cupcakes are completely cooled, you want to cut off the tops in order to make them more flat. Now remove the buttercream from the fridge and mix it up to make it nice and soft. Then take some of this on a knife and put it on top of one of the cupcakes. Next, grab one of the brown fondant circles and place this on top of the cupcake. And then repeat for all of the other cakes. Now they are all covered in the brown fondant, you want to get your red, or in my case pink fondant, and take a bit of this and roll it into a ball, and this will form the nose of the reindeer. Then repeat for all of the other cupcakes. Now now the nose is in place, you want to attach the ears, and you actually want to take a strand of raw spaghetti to do this and break a piece off that is around this kind of length. And then you're going to poke one end into the ear and then the other end into the top of the cupcake. Once all the ears are in place, remove the baking tray from the freezer and using a knife, cut 2 holes in the top of the cupcake. Then remove one of the antlers and insert it into the top of the cake. And repeat with another antler. Then repeat this step for all of the other cupcakes. Next, take some light brown decorative icing, and you're going to use this to draw on the inside of the ears. You now want some white decorative icing, and you're going to use this to draw on the background of the eyes. Finally, take some dark brown fondant and use this to draw on the pupils. And there you go, that is your finished reindeer cupcakes. You can make some reindeer cupcakes. I'm quite happy with how they turned out, although the noses ended up being pink instead of red. You could maybe buy some red fondant instead. Sadly they weren't selling any red when I was looking, so I was like, white and red food colouring will do. They've gone kind of pink. They still look quite cool though. I'm pretty happy with how they have turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash the thumbs up if you did. Let me know down below in the comments if you give these a go. Tweet me pictures of yours. Yours might turn out with red noses instead of pink. I don't know, but pink's actually quite cool an alternative. Why not go for pink instead? And also be sure to click the little red subscribe button down below if you're new to my channel, and click the little notifications bell too while you're down there, as there will be another festive video coming your way next week, and I will see you then with another weekly video. Bye!